Okay, this is going to be a 7-circuit concentric, not from seed, but from building out from the middle. So pick a center spot. This is going to have an expanded center. That's going to be the center of our expanded center. Pick a orientation. In this case, I'm going to focus on the pier. And starting about a path width or two away, I'm going to make my entrance into the center. I'm going to pick my center circle diameter. In this case, I'm going to go about 2.5 path widths. So I'm going to do like about a half, and then 1, and then 2, winding up on the line. I'm going to make a mark right there. That's going to be my radius to the center. I'm going to stick my knuckle on that and pivot on that point, dragging one tine of the tool and stopping at the other line. What that's going to do is give me a center circle with an entrance path, 1 path wide into the center. I'm going to cut this corner, so I'm going to just deepen this circle a little bit, and then finding a point tangent to this circle and this path. So hit it there and hit it there. I'm going to pivot on this point 180 degrees. So using the center, I'm in line with that radially. Catch that line, and then using the first circle as a guide, go all the way around. A couple of reasons for an expanded center like this, especially for a public labyrinth where there may be more people walking it, and it makes the entry into the center come out nicely without a distorted diamond that's going to take the place of the cross on the pattern from seed. I'm going to stop about 1.5 paths width away from this line, because that's going to be a turn there, not a pivot. So I'm going to pick that up, and I'm just going to deepen the rest of that circle to the center, clean that up a little bit, and stop about 1 path width down. If I were continuing this line across, I'd hit it about there. And then I'm going to go find a point here that's 2 path widths from this line and the center circle. So I want to make a little mark there, use that as a reference, find my pivot point here that's going to just catch that line, and then do a 180-degree turn around that point. Then, using the previous circle as a guide, trace my second path. Whoops. Then my entry into the center is going to come from the 3rd circuit out. So this is going to follow this one around. And then the 4th circuit out takes you in to the 1st circuit. So this one, starting here, and you could just erase any big footprints or anything you see there. This one's going to create the 4th circuit, touching those 2 points. And using the previous line as a reference as best you can. And at this point, I'm going to stop about here my next, well, this one and the next 3 circuits for my 7th circuit, I'm going to wind up with a diamond shape in the middle. So this line is going to come around at a curve, and this line is going to come around and curve, and I'm going to wind up with a diamond shape here. I want to find a point that is centered on that center stake through the center of the entry to the middle path, and that's going to hit me somewhere around here. That's a point I want to find where my curve is going to come to in a 2-path width radius turn. How far down this way? How far down this way do I come? So I'm just going to drag a few parallel lines here. I'm going to need 1, 2, 3 more. That'll give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 circuits. So I'm going to pivot on this line. There's going to be a nested turn. So there's going to be a pivot on this line, and then a 2-path width radius turn connecting that one with this one. And I want to come out as far as this point on this center line. So if I take this, which is going to be my 1-path width radius turn, and I continue that around to about this point, that and that are going to be my outer turn. So I'll mark those, and then this is going to be my pivot point there, but I'll want that to make sure that that's 2 path widths away from this one. So eyeballing that, I'll continue these around until I'm in line with that, then bring this one around, and that's going to be my pivot. So I pivot on that, catch that mark, then I'm going to use that one as a guide and form the other part of my diamond now. So there's the right side of my entrance and 3 sides of my diamond. The other side of my diamond is going to be the entry path. So the entry path to the labyrinth is going to come in here and enter into the labyrinth on that 5th circuit. So I'm going to have a line here, and I'm going to have 2, 3 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the same thing, this is going to be my line that's going to have a 1 path width turn on it, and it's going to be 2 path widths away from this point. So from here I'm going to make a mark, and then from here, that's going to give me my distance from that point. I need to confirm my distance from this point, so I'll continue this around till I'm about in line with my previous reference mark, and that's going to give me my distance from the other one. Now I'll just pivot on that, catch that mark, and then I know that this is going to be my entrance, and I'm going to start here. If I did that right, that's 1 path width away. That finishes up my diamond, and if I centered this point on the entry path, then I've got a fairly uniform diamond. The expanded center gives me that. With a smaller center, this becomes much more rectangular and sometimes very distorted. And now it's just a matter of connecting the dots, going around the perimeter, just like creating one from seed. There you have it. 7 circuit, classical concentric style with an expanded center. The 2.5 path width radius center, you can oftentimes get 3 petals in the middle, kind of chart-esque, to make the big opening not feel quite so empty. So putting my tool in line with that center axis, I'm going to draw the first one here. And then bringing this line in over that original pivot, bringing it a little further. I'm going to connect this line with this line, split that difference, and a couple inches away from the outer line, gives me that. If I get that even, I can bring this out, close that up a little bit. So I got a bigger gap here than there. And then just go back and replace your divots. And that way you've got 3 separate spaces for folks to stand and a space for them to exchange places. So if somebody wants to sit here for 5 minutes, they've got their own space to enjoy the view.